Okay, today what we are going to be learning is what makes a good research question in science, particularly with experiments, and what is the format to writing a good research question. Please go ahead and write this down. It's not in TNOTES format yet, but just go ahead and write it down just the way that you see it, and I would like for you to answer the question below. These are two questions. Why does the sun shine? And what is the effect of purple light on plant growth? And then I would like for you to answer this question. Which question above, A or B, can be answered by doing an experiment? And why? So explain it. Why is the other question not as good? Pause the video, write everything down, and answer the question. Okay, so hopefully by taking our TNOTES, we are going to answer your question. So now what I would like for you to do is to go ahead and start your TNOTES underneath what you have already written. Draw a T on your paper and copy all this down. Pause the video and then we will begin. So a research question, a good research question, is any question that you can prove, that you can test within an experiment. It has to have an IV and a DV. Now, how do you write a good research question? There are multiple ways to write a research question. However, what I would like for you to focus on is these two ways to write a question. Here is the format. What is the effect of, and this is where you would put the independent variable, on the dependent variable. Or you could also state your question as, how does the independent variable affect the dependent variable? You could choose either of these two formats. It doesn't matter. As long as you know your independent variable and your dependent variable, you will be able to write a really good research question. Now, there are certain kinds of questions that cannot be tested, and these ones, for example, are any questions that are why questions. Why is the sky blue? Why do my eyes twinkle when they look at the sun? Or, for example, anything that is a survey question. So, for example, do you like dogs? Do you like cats? How many people like cats versus dogs? Those are not, that might be interesting to know, but it is not a good research question to base your experiment on. You don't have to write this, but I would like for you to guess whether or not the following statements is a testable thought. So pause the video and see if whether or not, now that you know what makes a good research question and what makes a bad research question, ask yourself, is this a good thing? Can I test it or can I not test it? So with the first one, some people work better in the morning and other people work better in the afternoon. If you stated that this is a testable question, we can actually experiment on this and find out data, you are correct. Taking something that belongs to another person is wrong. This is incorrect. This is a survey question. Go ahead and pause this and see if you can figure this out. Snakes travel in pairs. This would be an untestable question. Animals behave in strange ways before an earthquake is testable. Here are two more. People who don't recycle should have to pay fines. Do you think that is a testable or not a testable question? If you said that it wasn't, good job. Now, basketball is a better sport than soccer. If you said no, you are correct. Here are two more. You will remember best whatever you read just before you fall asleep. You can test this. And number 8, Maria's kind of bike is faster than Rob's kind of bike. We could definitely test that. Here are the last two. Each year when the weather gets cold, birds fly to warmer regions. Do you think that we can test this? If you've said yes, you are correct. And for the last one, trucks use more gasoline than cars. If you said yes, we can definitely test that. Now, please go ahead and copy this down. And this example is going to be of a specific experiment, and we are going to be creating a good research question from this. So here we have two plants. Plant number 1, which we are going to water every day, and plant number 2, we will water every other day. Now, what that looks like, and you don't have to draw this unless you wish to, but what that means is that plant number 1 will get water every single day, so Sunday through Saturday, and then water plant number 2, on the other hand, if you look at the calendar, it will be every other day, so that this plant will get twice as much water than the other one. What is the independent variable and dependent variable? Go ahead and pause this, think about it, and start the video back up when you're ready. So the independent variable for this would be the amount of water that the plants are getting. And what you're trying to find out is probably about the growth. You're just trying to figure out if whether or not this allows the plant to grow more or less. Now, the research question, remember, can be in two different formats that we're learning. So what you want to do is you're going to use this format, what is the effect of, and we know that our independent variable is the amount of water, so we're just going to put that right there. And for the dependent variable, we just put plant growth right in that spot. So if you have a question that is, what is the effect of the amount of water on plant growth, then this would be a correctly formatted research question. You can also use the second formatted question, which would then be, how does the amount of water affect plant growth? Both of these would be correct. So go ahead and write this down and then identify the independent, dependent, and then go ahead and write out the two correctly formatted questions for the research question. Pause the video, start it back up when you're ready. Okay, so for this experiment, it is grades in school may change depending on how many hours of sleep you get. Your independent variable in this case is how much sleep you're getting, or the number of hours. Your dependent variable is the grades or your marks in school. For your research question, you have two different formats, and the first one, all you would need to do is replace the hours of sleep into the independent variable, so you get what is the effect of the hours of sleep on school grades. And the second question would be, how does hours of sleep, or how much a person sleeps, affect school grades? All right, so in a wrap-up, just know that a research question is something that we can test, and we format it in two different ways, either saying what is the effect of the independent variable on the dependent variable, or how does the independent variable affect the dependent variable. Please make sure you have your notes ready to use in class next, and thanks for watching.